From Cincinnati, Ohio, and Bowie, Maryland, this is Behind the Bots, the podcast that brings you the stories of the people behind the bots. I'm Jake.
And I am Brandon.
And today on our podcast, our interview with Whiplash team captain, Matt Vasquez. We'll wrap up this show with this week's installment of Robots Around the World. If you like our show, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, TuneIn, CastBox, Player FB, and Podbean. And follow us on Facebook at Behind the Bots. And tell a friend. We appreciate your support. We appreciate you guys tuning into the stream. It's always a good time. So, Brandon, the calendar. What is happening in combat robotics?
Well, it turns out a lot of things are happening all the time. So we're going to do this week, August 23rd, and then also August 30th next week. For this week, we have events happening in the US, UK, and Germany. In Colorado, the Bot Rumble at the Electric Ranch and Bots, Brews, and BBQs are hosting fairy weights and ant weights in the plastic and full combat classes. In Oklahoma, the Tulsa Maker Fair is hosting 22 plastic and full combat ants. And in Walton, Massachusetts, Mass Destruction Resurgence 4 will be hosting 46 beetle weights and plastic ants for some of the best beetles in the U.S. Northeast, like Caldera, Mako, Prince, and many, many more. Heading over to Europe, we see beetle weights running in London, as well for part of the Capital Punishment, as well as MMM Hanover in Hanover, Germany. For next week, on August 30th, there'll be events happening in the U.S. and UK and Australia. In the U.S., there'll be events in Florida, Virginia, California, and Georgia, where in Stuart, Florida, Robot Renegades is hosting their summer showdown with 66 robots in plastic ant, full combat ant, and beetle weight classes. In Richmond, Virginia, Rabid will be hosting a 2-day tournament with 30 plastic and full combat ants as part of the Immersicon. In Valley Springs, California, West Coast Combat Robot League will be hosting 21 robots in 1-pound plastic full combat ant and 150-gram fairy weight classes. In Georgia, Dragon Con Robot Battles returns, one of the longest running open tournaments in the United States with roots back to 1987, returns with even more fights in a 12-pound sumo class, 30-pound sumo, ant weight, and beetle weight classes. Heading over to Oxford, UK, Orcs 9 will be hosting 150-gram robots as part of their Tap Social movement. And finally, in New South Wales, Australia, Robot Royale 5 will host 21 robots in the plastic and full combat 150-gram robot classes. Get details on these events and more at robotcombatevents.com, buildersdb.com, and bristolbotbuilders.com. Now, we enter an interview with Matt Vasquez. Hey, Matt, how's it going?
It's going good. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, for the first time ever. It's so cool to have you.
Yeah, I've never talked to you guys before on stream.
Listen. We had some issues. It happens. It's okay.
It does.
It happens.
We learn and we grow.
We grow.
It's learning experience.
And we're back with Matt Vasquez.
Yeah, we got a practice round. Nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. We got the reps in, building up the podcast. Now here we are.
We're all excited for you to be here now. That's for sure. So tell us about your background. How did you get started in combat? You're such a legendary name. You know, you were on. How many seasons of BattleBots have you done now?
Basically, all of them. The first one is an alternate. Then, or I guess from the reboot of BattleBots. First one is an alternate. Second one was barely on because we sucked that year. And then from 2018 through present, we've been on every season.
So it started in 2016.
Yeah, as far as actually being a competitor. But yeah, so
even before then, though, you've also been around BattleBots too.
Yeah, so back in the early 2000s, my when I was 3-4 years old, my dad saw an ad for the 1999 pay-per-view BattleBots event. I think it happened that was the Long Beach one in the Pyramid. So we saw that and he's like, "Oh, that's cool." He's like, "I want to try that." He wasn't an engineer or anything. He was just kind of a hobbyist tinkerer type. Was good. He was good at building stuff. So he's like, "Okay, I can do this." Then a few years later, I think it wasn't until BattleBots Season 3 in 2002, he competed and built a couple of robots, built a lightweight and a middleweight. which is like very ambitious, I would say. Building two big bots like that. And he did like decently well. Like I don't think he made it to any of the TV rounds, but he had a lot of fun, and like, you know, it took me there. I loved it. So I've been around it forever. Then by the time I was in like high school, and like my brother, who's like a couple years younger than me, we got like super into like building insect bait robots, because I was like BattleBots wasn't on TV. Like Robo Games was happening, but we like wanted to fight more often. So we started doing like ant weights and beetle weights. And this was like maybe around 2013, something like that. Like that was kind of like when SCAR began, I guess, like the SoCal combat robot scene. So yeah, I feel like 3-4 times a year we would compete with our ant weights and beetle weights. And it wasn't until a couple years later the BattleBots came back, and we're like, all right, we got to apply for this. We got to try to get in with something. Dude, I think our first BattleBots application, because God, I don't know, I was like 15 or something. I don't even think I had like real CAD yet. I literally had like Google SketchUp and like made the application in Google SketchUp when I was like 15 or maybe I was 15 or 16 or something. Yeah, it's insane. Or then like the next year upgraded to like Fusion 360 and made it more legit. But yeah, we've been around for a while.
The SCAR server loves me, so they're really happy that you're here right now. The SCAR server is definitely my biggest fan group, and I love them so much, and they love me.
Let's go, SCAR.
Oh, yeah. They love themselves some Jake Maxweiser, so.
Dude, SCAR is thriving right now. We have, probably 3 pretty big events a year. And in between, it seems like every other month we'll have an event of some kind, whether it's just plastic ants, beetle weights, or just like a fairy weight event or something.
So do you promote SCAR? I mean, are you volunteering for them or anything, or are you just fighting there?
I go in, like when I go compete, I'll definitely help with like arena teardown and everything I can. Mm-hmm. But I do live like a little bit, it's like maybe an hour to get to the SCAR space.
Yeah.
So I don't have like too much time to go down there. But when I do compete, I try, because it's like it really is. It's just all run by volunteers and competitors.
Yeah.
Right. So we all try our best to pitch in.
It's a very different vibe than what's going on at NHL in terms of like it's cool to see such a, I don't want to call it or
grassroots,
more organic format for the sport. I really love the format that they've adopted, and those little events over here on the East Coast that kind of are the heart of the sport, behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's really nice. Like, I mean, we got like a couple NHL grants from like Calvin winning, and all that. So that was like a good, yeah, it's Calvin, but that was like a good jump start to get like the big arena built, because we had like a 12-pound arena that was like it was like an NRL arena, so it was like an educational 15-pounder box. But once we got that money, we upgraded to this box, and we got, I think, some money from maybe a couple other places, and it's really been going great the last few years.
So SCAR, how many competitors would you say that between all the weight classes?
If for our bigger events, I think we got one in September, and I think there's like 160 bots registered, something like that.
Oh, wow.
Dang.
Between all the weight classes.
Oh, wow.
So it's pretty big. For like the Beatles, I think we cap it at, God, I want to say 32, and there's like probably a dozen bots on the wait list, something like that. It's not like NHL where you have 100, but 30s, I think 30s and 12, I think we've been getting like maybe 15 or so per event, which is pretty solid.
Yeah, that's huge.
And ants, all the insect classes just fill up immediately, and the bigger ones don't quite fill up, but we have like nice full brackets. So it's good, and that's part of the reason I like competing in the bigger classes. I'm trying to like get more people to build bigger robots.
They're so much fun. I'll give it that. There's like a little utopia, because it's kind of like the bigger bots kind of self-regulate, because the intensity that comes with it. So kind of like the amount that can be made, or kind of the amount that fills a bracket, and it kind of like levels out. But at the same time, you definitely get the vibe of like, okay, if you're mastering the like a plastic ant, or even like beetles, it might be worth a shot to like try a little, like keep pushing yourself to master the 12s and 30s. They teach you a lot of stuff, especially like related to BattleBots level tech.
Yeah. And the whole idea with Little Ash was like, I got the idea to do it during the last season of BattleBots we filmed, which was in 2023. And like, we were just having like a really tough time in the qualifying rounds. And I was just like, man, like it would be nice to have like a 30-pound version, just to like practice with and test out new ideas. So that was kind of the I don't know, the spark for wanting to do Little Lash. And it wasn't until a couple years later I actually built it. But with no BattleBots right now, it's proven to be very fun to have, because it feels exactly the same. I can just take it, throw it in checked luggage, fly somewhere random, and go fight with it.
So this is one of your fights with Little Lash versus Super Obliterator 3000. So while we're watching this fight, what when you eventually there will be a BattleBots again one day, maybe, probably not though.
Yeah.
What are you gonna bring? Yeah, let's stay hopeful. One day we will fight 250s again.
Oh yes.
What will you bring from Low Lash over to the big one? Like, what's like if you had to bring a big thing over?
I think the first thing I would do is like I go with Whiplash. The first thing, like for most of the fights we lose, the first thing to go is like the lifter spatula, like the floor scraping part on the lifting arm. And once that goes, the victory dance is so fun with
Dude,
that
that's
robot.
crazy.
It's awesome.
It's so cool, isn't it?
Yeah, the big one wasn't really able to do that, so I don't know what it is about this one. At least not as insane as this one. But anyway, I think the first thing, like one of the big changes they made for Little Ash, is the lifter spatula. It's just like several plates of half-inch thick AR, just side by side, just welded together. So it's like essentially just inch thick solid steel at the thickest point.
Yep.
So like if someone avert does hit that, they'll probably take a chunk out of it, but it's not going to get bent out of shape and it'll remain flat. Yeah. So that's the first thing to change for Big Whiplash.
Wait, it's half-inch thick AR on the little one?
On the little one, stacked side by side, just at the
like
front.
little plates,
Yeah.
Exactly. So it was really kind of the easiest, best way I could think. Yeah, this fight was sad. Pepe died in this one. Just totally.
I hate watching
random.
this.
Yeah, the second fight was much better.
This is gore of my comfort character.
Yeah,
this is gore of my comfort character. Look how sad Luke is. Luke is so sad.
The finals was definitely a better match, but anyway, yeah. So making that super thick front lifting spatula, I think, will be probably the first and most important change I make.
Okay, so you guys fought again.
We fought again in the finals.
Is this the second fight?
It's a lot. Well, second fight, for them between these two. I remember watching this fight at RCL where Pepe's like not as fast as you are, but he's also just like this box of death where you 100% know, like if you touch the center part,
that's the same one.
This is the same one. I'm sorry.
Same one. Never mind.
There you go.
All right.
Okay, this one has to be different.
I hope.
So far, it looks the same.
If it's the same fight again, that would go crazy. Okay.
No, it's not, dude.
I think it's the exact same start again. You guys picked the same fight like 3 times in a row.
Yeah. It should be the first one I posted.
Oh no, they're in reverse order. I'm stupid. Okay, no.
There you go.
Okay, this is the right one. This
one's here we go.
There's his finals on it.
I kept clicking on the. Sorry. Anyway.
Okay, we got there.
Classic Matt Vasquez stream. Technical difficulty. Okay.
Pepe, box of death, big death in the middle. You don't want to touch it, but you're also like very nimble, Little Lash.
Dude, all my opponents lately have been having like electronics issues and like dying randomly, and like am I having the same effect on the stream? Like I don't know.
yes, and that's why you died in the final at Norwalk, is because
dude, it is
that's like a vampiric energy.
Oh wait, that was actually, you think about it, that was before this though. So like, was that it just fed through it effect. Like it hurt you, and then you're like, I'm hurt everybody else, and so now the stream and things all die. Exactly.
So he had the very beginning of this drive lock up.
Yeah, in the very beginning, I'm not sure if it was the hit in the beginning that did it or it just locked up. But either way, after the first like 20 seconds, he had one side down, and that made it much easier to pick and choose my shots.
This is
He's definitely.
Have you seen my plant, Pepe?
I have.
Oh, it's so good, dude. It's so much fun. I understand why Luke loves it.
Dude, he blew me up like twice. He tore me in half. He's like the single most devastating robot I ever fought is your comfort character.
Yeah, no,
he's like walking PTSD.
Character.
And that's why normally, like you've seen lots of my fights probably, and normally I just go all out straight into whoever I'm fighting. This was quite the opposite. This was be very, very careful, pick and choose every single hit,
So when you've
and
kind
only
of
go for the sides, like there.
you've kind of built up your look how excited you got in the the reflection. So when you've kind of built up this style, where did it kind of start for you? Like, how did
Mhm.
you kind of come into this? You've got a vert, you've got a lifter. How did you kind of arrive at that?
Yeah, so back in like 2014, I had a Beetleweight robot. It was called Splatter. It was like a 4-wheel drive hammer saw robot.
Mhm.
So I had like this long flat kind of UHW fork on the front, and it was just like a kind of classic hammer saw bot, just 4-wheel drive. And it was kind of like before that design was super popular. Like in 2014, I think Jameson, he had done his little dustpan robot years before that. But what really inspired mine was watching SOB on like the original BattleBots, which was kind of the same robot that inspired Jameson for Sawblaze. So that inspired my Beetleweight. And it was a really fun robot. We were just able to pin robots, saw through the top plate. I was like, wow, this is a really cool design. And then like when the BattleBots reboot came, we kind of decided, like me, my brother, and my dad, that was kind of the robot we wanted to base it around. But kind of like as I was designing it, I was like, wait, I'm like, because I didn't want the arm to sit on top. I wanted to sit inside of the robot. And I was like, wait, the arm sticks out the back. And like, this is just like a perfectly functioning vertical spinner sticking out the back of the robot. Like, this should definitely be implemented. It shouldn't just be a hammer saw. But and then I kind of realized, I'm like, wait, like I could just totally mount some little forks in the back, and then I'm like a lifter, a hammer saw, and a vert, and like I just kept going down this rabbit hole, I guess. And like at the end, I was like, all right, this is gonna be mainly a lifter, mainly a vert, and if I choose to, I could turn around and be a hammer saw. And it wasn't until like 2017 at RoboGames where we actually realized, we're like, wait, like this is actually a good idea. For like 2 years, I was just like, maybe this idea sucks. I don't know. But it wasn't until we won some matches that we're like, all right, there's something to this, and it's not just a crazy design to get accepted on BattleBots.
That's awesome.
love
can
it.
totally see how you could go from this to like Whiplash. Like it makes so much sense.
Then if you go on YouTube, you go look up like Beetleweight Splatter, and like you'll probably find some videos and see the original inspiration.
Look, wow, you're
the OG.
result. That's crazy.
You're famous.
What am I
Interesting. Yeah, Damon's actually a good point, because Damon's is watching it. He's like, oh, so Whiplash and Sawblaze kind of have the same design origin and just different directions of it. Yeah,
look at like Splatter.
You're actually brothers. You're actually like cousins.
Like Splatter RoboGames 2015, I think. There's a fight where I fought my brother, and that was like one of my best wins. Let me see. It's the second one, 2015. Jason's Revenge versus Splatter. Or is that maybe this is the wrong one?
That's hilarious.
There's one I lose and one I win.
Whiplash
I think it's the one I win.
Sawblaze are the same design going in different directions. That's hilarious.
So this was the Beetleweight that inspired Whiplash.
Yeah. Okay, but you're just driving it in reverse.
Exactly. So this was the idea with this was be pure hammer saw. Right? Honestly, the word hammer saw didn't even exist when I built this robot. It was just like overhead saw blade.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
is this your mom here?
Control.
No, that's just like a judge.
Wow.
I'm pretty
Okay.
sure.
Sorry. I saw. Oh, come on, dude. That's crazy. No, okay, whatever. Okay.
She was probably the one filming, if I'm guessing. If I had to guess.
Okay. I thought I was gonna have a fun anecdote about how your mom was a judge there, but no. Cool. Okay. That's cool.
But it is like very smothering design.
Yeah,
It's sort of what you see the modern hammer saws.
So there you see, just go right through the aluminum. And
that was it.
You should reach out to Julian Mako for I don't know, copyright.
Yeah. No, Mako. But it's funny, Mako. Like I had thoughts that if I was to rebuild this, that I would go 2-wheel drive just to like save weight and put it in other places. And Mako kind of just built what I would have built had I redone this.
That's cool.
I think I would have kept the arm longer, and like you can see how the spinner is kind of like very high up, and that's to like give that nice angle. Yeah, exactly. To give that like nice angle to reach over the drum spinner or whatever's in front of me. But other than that,
is that a 4.5-inch saw on top?
Yes, whatever
Yeah.
the cheapest Harbor Freight saw
Yes.
blade.
Yeah.
It's like
Probably,
at the
yeah.
time it cost like $7 or something. I don't know, $5.
Yeah. That's
So
awesome.
you just buy a bunch of them, and it was just bolted straight to the outrunner. God, to get the bolt pattern, I remember I didn't even drill holes. I like use a Dremel to cut slots for the bolt pattern on the motor. But yeah,
Man, 2010
that was a
or
fun
something.
robot. Yeah. That was a fun robot. It was funny. That was round 1 that event, and then I ended up losing to my brother later on, and he fought his way like all the way through the losers bracket to the finals and got 2nd place.
Oh, here we go. Here it
So
is.
he's on a revenge. So he's on a revenge spree from that. He was like,
There
I
you
gotta
go.
take him out.
Is this the second one?
Yeah.
Yeah, this
is the
one-
second
Dude, funny enough, this one I also had electronics problems and I think I ended up just dying in this fight.
Oh yeah.
I wanna say-
Old habits. Damn.
I know. 10 years later.
10 years
back.
later. Yeah. Look at
Is
that.
it-
Wow.
That's rough. Yeah, I can literally see it like sputtering on and off. Clearly, the curse was already with you for years, and it's just been coming back ever since.
Dude, honestly, and this is something that honestly, those are probably 2 of maybe the 3 times this has ever happened to like one of my robots. I don't know what it is. Like the whole BattleBots era, this never happened. It's
That's good. That would really suck.
that would suck. But yeah, I don't know.
That
I
is
think it was just
definitely annoying though. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's
Not
just
as
cutting in
bad.
and out some weird receiver issue or something.
Yeah.
That's a little
Yeah,
annoying.
but
But it is kind of cool, like now sort of figuring out this deep lore in person of like, oh, Whiplash saw blades of a similar core, but the
Yeah.
directions, because not to say that either one's even less control, because both saw blades and Whiplash use heavy control in their matches. But it's
Yeah.
but it is interesting that because your arm and therefore your spinner are a bit more aggressive, like they're always there in the front, then can be removed afterwards or like applied backwards for a hammer saw. Versus in saw blades, it's like always retracted, and then he has to apply it in order to do a thing.
Yeah,
Like if
it's funny.
Go ahead.
Funny, one of the best parts of that beetle weight and what made it so effective, and I'm surprised I haven't really seen anyone else do, are those 2 like static like titanium arms that you can see.
Oh, the corral.
Kind of like when I get my brother pinned, they're just kind of like hugging around him, not letting him get out of either side. And that worked really well. They kind of almost act as like 2nd and 3rd forks with like the main one in the center. So I'm surprised
for
I
the
haven't
idea.
seen. Yeah, little
That's
hugger.
free.
I'm not
Free of
gonna
charge
use
right
it.
Thanks for the idea. given what I showed you earlier. Thanks.
So that's gonna be so. I guess there's another point as well. I'm kind of curious about too.
Mhm.
So when you're kind of thinking about like the lifter hybrid, and you're trying to figure out configurations for it, are there any other ideas that you've had or tried out with it, where you're like, this might be a good idea? You try it, or even better yet, you never even get to try it, but you think that might be an interesting way to apply it versus something else.
Yeah, I don't know. I've had like some ideas, like for example, like when I run the plow and don't have the spinner, just put like a flamethrower in the arm or something. I don't know, just like dumb stuff like that. But as far as like spinner, lifter, like I don't really know. I mean, kind of the nice thing about how it already is I'm already like 3 different robot types at the same time, and can kind of just like choose based on how the fight's going. Like, what do I want to be at this given moment? Like, do I just want to keep the arm down and play 4-wheel vert mode, or do I want to, be more controlling and just be a lifter? Or do I have them in like a really tough position and I could, play hammer saw for 20 seconds? It's I don't know. It's pretty nice. There are definitely trade-offs, right? Because I don't get to have that much armor having all this stuff going on. But yeah, I have lots of options.
You ever tried just like running it backwards, just outright, where it is literally hammer saw mode, where you have like the forks in the back of the robot, the arms, I guess back retracted as it is normally.
Yeah.
But then it can then sort of through the rear corralling, put itself forward, and then you can apply the arm over somebody, like actually running like a true hammer saw version of Little Lash or Whiplash.
I've absolutely thought about it. I think in the future, maybe I'll try. What I would really like to be able to do is get the spinner like damaging enough to where I don't even put any ground game on the back and just drive it backwards and just go like huge style. Just go over the top of people with the spinner and just drive, because that'll just totally neutralize. Like if you have ground game, who cares? Like I'll just drive backwards over your ground game on top of you and take out your top plates. And I kind of did try that once against Athon at a Scar event Sadly, my spinner ended up dying like quickly. I think it was like Little Ash's second or third fight ever, and I had some issues with the spinner dying. But I don't know if I could get some good armor on the back. That's not a terrible option. Just because like no one, I don't know, no one's planning for that. And even if they are planning for it, you have to make a sacrifice to be prepared for that, right? So it's not, the plan is not, totally surprise them with some new idea. It's that you're going to have to think about, you might have to expect this, and what do you have to do to plan for it?
Man, yeah, that's even more horrifying because you got qualified for NHRL finals, so you're chilling at that level. So you're looking forward to that. Are there any robots in NHRL, either that you've seen, that you fought against, or even bots on the West Coast that are pretty cool, where you think they're interesting to fight? Doesn't mean they're better, like if they're hard for you to fight, if you prefer fighting them because you have an advantage, or even just like have good fights with them, or any sort of bots like that with Little Ash that you may run into.
I mean, I would like to fight Red Storm. That would be very fun. We wanted to fight at BattleBots, and it kind of just never happened. That would be an incredible 30-pound match. I'm really hoping that happens. I think that's like a good maybe 50-50 match on who would win that one. Who else do I want to fight? Is like I looked at the lineup of qualified bots. They're all just very, very tough opponents. Obviously, you got like Chonky in there. You got Megatron. You got Multifier. You got like the Waddles in there. You got Ares in there. So all those robots can just, if I screw up, will just obliterate me. But I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens because, funny enough, Little Ash the only fight Little Ash has ever lost was against a robot I had already beaten in a finals match when my receiver stopped working. That's the only fight I've lost. So like I've never been beaten by another robot, as in like they like outplayed me with Little Ash. And part of that is just like only going to local events and only going to that one NHRL event. So I don't really know what's going to kill Little Ash, and there are so many different options at finals for what can potentially just like obliterate me. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I really don't
like
know.
when you say that, you have like an interesting quandary of like, okay, my robot has never had to test its jaw per se. Like it's definitely fought people, but it's not like robots. Okay, someone's now found a weak point and like crushed it in. How does it handle that? Those kind of things.
Yeah, because part of me, like when I fought Pepe, I was expecting, I'm like, if any robot's gonna like kick my front teeth in, like it's gonna be this one. And then like quickly in the fight, either I got a good shot or just got really lucky, and like he lost half drive, and I'm like, wait, I came out unscathed. What is happening? That's not supposed to happen. So, but I'm going to OC Maker Faire in September, and I know like there'll be like Super Obliterator will be there. You fought them, you know how hard they hit, Brandon.
Man,
they're gonna be there. Kablooey Tango will be there, which I'm very excited to fight. So I'm sure I'll get to fight him at some point. And I think that'll be a very good test for like a tried and true horizontal spinner.
Do you have like, you do have a large front wedge. Sorry, I just pulled up the Brett zone of your fight with Anxiety since we were talking about NHRL.
Yeah. Is this the first fight or the finals?
This is the first fight. So
first fight.
Okay, so you've got a large front wedge. Is this all AR or is this?
It's all 1/8 inch AR. I think it's like Hardox 450 actually.
Okay, cool.
But it's basically just AR 400 pretty much.
Yeah.
But anyway, I used the plow in this fight, but I think at OC Maker Faire, I'm gonna try to run, even if I fight like a horizontal, if I fight Kablooey Tango, is run no horizontal plow. Just run the standard config with like a more optimized front end on the lifter. And just see how it works with the spinner still on.
Wow.
The spinner's still on. So you're inviting that catch point there.
I am inviting it. Just gonna want to see what happens. And part of the reason was that like because I did win this. Yeah, it's very bold. We'll see if it works.
Yeah.
If it works, I'll try to NHRL. If it doesn't work, maybe I won't.
Well, are you just hoping that spinner's sticking out so far that you make weapon-on-weapon contact and win before you get hit?
I mean, I'm looking back to a lot of Whiplash's fights at BattleBots, where I did fight horizontal spinners before we did the plow config, and the only one we really lost to was Tombstone.
Yeah. And
that was just a matter of our front armor not staying on the robot. It wasn't a matter of like weapon-to-weapon hits, we couldn't handle them. We could handle those fine. It was nice. Like the big plow is nice because we're connected. It's connected fully across the front end of the robot rather than having two separate pieces of armor that have, half the hardware and half the, surface area clamped to.
Yeah.
So if I can keep my front armor on, I think it might be the move. And like even in this fight, like when they do put their front forks to me, it is pretty good at neutralizing that plow.
Yeah.
And I think there will be some robots that could maybe take advantage of that.
They're having the same problem.
Yeah.
They're having the same problem that I have, though, which is as soon as you engage from the side, the forks are bunk, and you're able to get around to the side. So
exactly.
Yeah.
And to be honest, part of the reason I want to try to wean off of this plow is it was really boring driving with the plow. Like it was not that fun. If I'm being totally honest, like this fight, it was like a decent fight, but it was just like there were, yeah. Then and I'm also more prone to getting stuck with the plow as well. When I have the spinner on there and this, yeah. So that is also very scary. Like with the spinner on in the classic configuration, there's really very few ways I can get stuck, which is it is nice knowing that.
Like you crave violence, and that's what it takes away. We have to use the wedge alone.
I think it does. If I'm flying all the way to Connecticut, my fights better be fun, you know?
I feel that.
But I don't know. I feel like there's less. Yeah, I don't know, because the fork loophole is there when I run that plow, and I think Anxiety might have been having some like drive issues this fight. Like you hear they're moving very, very slowly, and I don't know if I don't think that is normal. Yeah. So I think there are definitely some people who would be able to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
And you want to make the highlight reels, you know?
That's true.
And that's what's important. That's what. So you've driven a few robots. How does Low Lash and Whiplash, since they drive so similar, how did those? How's the handling on them?
Yeah, Little Ash is a little bit more squirrely. I try to keep him as similar as possible. Like one thing I do on Whiplash, and I think if a normal person, if either you guys or someone else were to drive Little Ash or to drive Whiplash, I think you guys would hate it. And I think the main reason is that I like turning off the brake on all my ESCs. So if I let go of the stick, the robot coasts.
That's crazy.
So I love how that drives.
Most
people hate that.
Crazy. That's
so
wild.
I think that. So that is how I set up all my robots, and I don't know. I try to use it to my advantage. Like my driving is very like fluid and drifty, and that is how I like to do it. If I let go of the stick and just instantly stop, like I hit a brick wall. Like I just don't do well with that. I like having some of that. Yeah. Some of that little.
Yeah. Now that you say it, I totally see. See it in the way that the robot moves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I like doing big circles around my opponent, trying to get drifty, and yeah.
So how heavy is the spinner on the 30 and on the 250 respectively?
So the 250, I think it's like 22 pounds, something like that, and on the 30, it is a whopping 2 pounds.
Wow,
dude, it is a tiny spinner. Man.
Yeah,
but it hits harder than I thought it would.
You're good. Yeah, about to say, if it's applied correctly, that might still be fine. Because it's it's a disc, so your MOI is being more focused. And also, if you hit the right spot, then 2 pound speed is fine. Oh, there you go. There's the hammer saw.
Yeah. Dude, I was so happy about this fight.
You sort of back on hammer saw.
Yeah, because I did like my little NHL interview thing where they take you back in the room with the green screen and all that, and they were saying like, "Yo, what's your plan?" And I was just like, "All right, my plan is get someone pinned on the wall, and when they're pinned on the wall, hammer saw them." And this fight happened I don't know 2 hours after I said that, and I was just like, "Heck yeah, it actually happened." And then it was perfect because they made that reel. They made an Instagram reel out of it, and I think they got me saying that, and then they put this fight in. And I was just like, "Oh yes, I may have only had one good fight at NHL, but
but I did what I said I was gonna do. I delivered.
That's Babe Ruth territory. All I'm saying.
Oh wow, the uprights are totally bent and twisted into that spinner. Well, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 2 pounds, but it's right place.
Yeah, 2 pounds. Exactly. But I mean, Megatron is probably 2 pounds. JMO, how much does Megatron weigh?
I think it's heavier, if I remember.
It's also bigger diameter. It also definitely has more power in it.
And his arm swings much faster.
It will thump stuff real good.
It makes sense, when you consider that your design is, a hammer saw lifter combo. That 2 pounds number starts to make sense.
And it's spinning pretty fast. I think we tacked it at 218 miles per hour. So
Yeah.
it's spinning pretty fast.
That's
And
pretty good.
he got his fork
Definitely.
stuck in my dry belt here, and we're just totally stuck together.
Love me some
Love that.
entanglement.
Love that. This is peak sport. Okay. And we're back.
Yep.
All right.
This is peak sporting.
But yeah, it's definitely cool seeing you get to do all the things in this match, because like Little Lash is going against Alan. You're able to, of course, directly go nose to nose. You get the shot with the 4-wheel drive vert because you get the weapon, able to get a glance on him. You're able to tee them up, and put them on like the wall, and then back up and hammer saw. So
Yeah.
for a 2-pound weapon, that's crazy. You get mashing it right at the same time. Like for a 2-pound weapon that's able to do 3 different activities like that, where in theory it could hit the front, sides, and top of a robot at bottom if the right things happen, then you have a lot of potency. And so it's also curious because you have like, it was all black, so I'm guessing that's like a TPU front as well. So like little
TPU.
Interesting. How's that been working for you?
It's been working great. It's that stuff is magic. I designed some like AR armor for it for the first event it competed at, and I did like the classic like AR with forks mounted on it, and like I don't know, it just the TPU is just like it absorbs hits so well that I think I'm gonna definitely continue that in the future. And it's nice because like I don't need like a hinged fork. It's just like compliant enough where it just kind of just barely presses into the ground. And it's honestly kind of inspired by like the full court forks, just TPU forks.
Oh,
just nothing hinged.
Name.
I said the name. I said full court.
You said the name.
I said the name.
Freaking out on stream. That's gonna get reposted started.
But in all seriousness, like the fixed the fixed TPU fork is pretty solid way to go, I think.
Interesting. Yeah, because I actually moved away from that because I remember I fought B-Force. They had the Baleen in June of last year, and my steel forks were able to just like really press through it because of the force of the interaction. I was curious, like yours seem a bit beefier, and that's resisting better. At very least, it's still doing ground game things, but
it's not going to be
resistant that well.
It's not going to be the best ground game. Like even in that fight against Alan, like you see that first hit, I go head to head just to kind of like test what happens, and he does get underneath me, and he gets a good shot on me. So
that's true.
It's pros and cons.
Interesting. So Jameson just said 3 pounds of spinning mass on Megatron. Interesting. So yeah, ballpark is right. I think it's just like once again classic case of like the way you use it does a lot of the explanation of like how well it does.
I think that is very true.
Which is why the house pot ramming you into the wall and our already dead robot is probably not going to.
So sad. Much. You know what's so funny? I was tempted in this fight after the first time because I got anxiety pinned on the wall and they got like their free unstick. I was like so considering just like trying to like stop Brett and just act as like a roadblock, but like stuff started going wrong like right before I had the chance to do that. So maybe had I had like maybe 10 more seconds of life, I could have just sat in front of him and maybe gotten him high centered, but. Who knows?
JMO says about 3 pounds on Megatron, so you're right, a little bit heavier.
Interesting. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, thanks for all that. So,
you want to take a break real quick and we'll come back? We're at 30 minutes right now. Sorry, I just realized.
That's right. No, you're good.
Come back. We'll talk about Whomper. Yeah. Is that cool?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, pushing break. Where is Welcome back to Behind the Bots, podcast that brings you the people behind the bots. Before we get into talking more about Matt Vasquez, Brandon and I, we read the entire NHL Discord. I would say between us, I mean, do you read every channel?
I've probably muted one or two of them, but I definitely have more NHL Discord intake.
Hashtag threes and hashtag ones calling it right now.
That's yeah.
I know like there are other builders who you wouldn't expect who read everything. And I will admit I read everything. And this was a question that came across in the general chat, and I just wanted to like bring attention to it. And the question was, how do you manage burnout? It feels like combat robotics, it can be literally a second job on top of your first job. How do you manage burnout? How do you stay excited about the sport? Most importantly, how do you stay having fun?
Yeah, that's a tough one because there are like some times when like I'm sure everyone has periods of just like uber motivation where you're super motivated, like you can, go hours and hours on CAD, whatever, just go weeks building your robots, and then like that only lasts for so long, right? So I don't know. For me, I have lots of other hobbies, so like I'm not just doing combat robot stuff. Like I like play tennis a lot. Like in college, played a lot of tennis and like club tennis. I'm doing like a lot of running lately. Done like a couple half marathons, stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. Like I play some music, like play like guitar and bass, and like have some friends I do that with. But yeah, I don't know. Other hobbies helps quite a bit in my opinion. If I was just doing like, especially since I'm working like an engineering job, if I was just doing like engineering at work and then engineering at home like every day forever, like I might go insane. So like I've got to, I don't know, you got to have some balance for sure.
What was your half marathon time?
What was my time? I think the last one I did was maybe 4 months ago or something. God, it was like an hour 45 minutes, something like that. I was like pretty happy with it.
Yeah,
I got like my pace was like 8 minutes 11 seconds or something, 8 minutes 15 seconds, something in there.
Yeah.
So it was I was pretty happy with that. But doing stuff like that is a lot. Why do you run, Jake?
Okay. I'm too thick now to be a runner. There was a time when I was in high school. Yeah, I ran. I ran distance. I ran half marathons too with my
Let's
dad.
Go. That's cool.
I think I did one in 140. Not to like. Yeah. I'm not trying to like. 5 minutes faster than you. But no. But I weighed 135 pounds. So you just go. When you weigh, when you're 17 years old and you weigh 135 pounds, you're just like, I guess I'm gonna run 50 miles this week. So I was running like 10 miles a day. Doing like dumb stuff like that. But yeah, and like I think especially doing that at like a young age, it taught you how to make something your identity. And when something is a part of your identity, you don't really get burned out because you kind of see it as, it's like eating food, or like breathing at that point. It's like this is what I do, and so it's never it's never a question. Like I'm going to get up and I'm going to work on robots, and maybe that's not the most healthy mentality, but when you see it as part of yourself, you always enjoy connecting with that passion, and it teaches you to love that part of yourself too. And I think that's an important thing to find.
Absolutely. And I think it depends what like era of life you're in too,
Yes.
Like, cause when I was in like high school, like I look at like all the like 16-year-old NHRL dudes that are just like out there killing it. And like, I think back to like that time of my life, like 10 years ago at this point. And like, I think I was totally open to like, if I wasn't going to school, I would just all day, every day, just be building combat robots. Right. So it totally depends. But then once you start, I don't know. And even in like college, like I took a break from like doing really any small robots for most of college. And it was because that was like when we were super heavy on BattleBots. And like that was just hard enough doing that every year. So like for that period of time, I was pretty much only doing BattleBots for combat robot stuff. But now it's kind of like a nice period. Like, you know, it's a bummer that the show's not on, but like having time to go do NHRL and do all these SCAR events, and just like, and if I don't want to go compete in an event, like there's really no deadline for me to finish my robot. There are lots of events happening all the time. You know, we don't have to be managing having, you know, getting all this funding to build this uber expensive robot. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a nice, yeah.
For me, the real struggle is FOMO. Is like, because
Yes.
like I know, so like I missed Hive Hysteria, and like I knew I did not want to drive to Maryland and back, but it was like, oh, you gotta, all your friends are there and they're fighting robots.
I know.
Yeah, and that was Hive Hysteria was hard. That was a hard miss for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure.
So that's harder for me than burnout. What about you,
Yeah,
Brandon?
FOMO it's a real thing. Like we competed in pretty much every season of BattleBots. It's been on TV. Like if it was to come back tomorrow, like it would be pretty brutal getting prepared for it. Say they said in 3 months we have a BattleBots event, it would be like really gnarly preparing for that. I have to do so much design work, so much making so many parts. But like I think FOMO is strong enough. Maybe we would pull through. I don't know.
I follow Matt very closely on a lot of it. Like, especially the BattleBot side. I'll start from there and work my way back. But the BattleBot side, that's literally what happens, and it's what we all went through in the stretch before 2023. Like literally the post-COVID stretch of BattleBots teams being like, I'm going to absolutely destroy myself. But all the friends are going to be there for a 2-week robot boot camp, and I have to be there too. Like people were hopping on teams. You're pulling basically all-nighters trying to get your robot ready, and then when you get shipped out, and then dude, when you're in Vegas and the time that you're actually there, everyone has the mentality of like, oh, we have dark days. I'm gonna be able to like go to the Strip, go to Hoover Dam, go to the other cool stuff Las Vegas has. That'd be kind of fun. But in reality, you're like, but no, because I need to make the robot cool. And then everyone else kind of ends up doing a lot of that too. And ultimately, by the time BattleBots is over, you're like, dude, I have to do it again. Like, one, because they have the robot ideas, but also because you're like, all my friends are going to be there. Like, I know I'm going to see Ray again because Tombstone's not dropping out. So I got to see Ray. And then you're like, well, I'm probably never going to see a lot of these people very often because they live in different parts of the country. You know,
it's
like,
funny,
like the Northeast block, but it's different.
Yeah, it's funny you say about like, oh, like going visit in the Strip and doing fun Vegas stuff while you're at BattleBots. Like for me, I was just like, I want to get like all the rest I can. I did not do that much when I was at Vegas. Like it's funny. Like I had this conversation with like Aaron Hill maybe like 6 months ago, and because like it was funny. Like BattleBots, because they put out like the fight card matches, right? And like I don't think most of the seasons they wouldn't put them all out at once. They'd give you your first round, and then like a couple days later they'd release the second round of matches. And they would always, and then like especially for the bracket, that's like the big one where they release either the round of 16 or 32. But every time they release your next match, it would be at like 3 a.m. because they're basing it off of what happened the day before, and they have to do all this 3D chess to decide what matchups they want to happen, right? And all the rankings and all that stuff. So there's like 2 types of people. I think most of them were this first type that would stay up till 3 a.m. the night before to see the matchup so they could think about it the night before. And typically what we would do is just go to bed at like 10 p.m. and wake up the next morning and just see what they were. But I was talking to Aaron. He's like, our team, like we would always, stay up real late to wait to see the matchups. And I was just like, no, man, like we just go to bed. Like we just want to rest. Like the next day we'll see the match when we see it and like whatever happens. And then he's like, but we have a giant nut. And I was just like, shit, you're right. We only got second place.
That's crazy. I can't believe pulled rank on you like that.
I was
He's
just like,
listen.
oh, I was just like,
second place, 8th first. That's crazy.
And we got second place, not quite first.
Dude, that's crazy. I can't believe pulled rank on you like that. That's nuts.
It was so funny.
But it's 100% true, especially BattleBots. That was the case. And then, like, even like working my way back, this NHRL break that we've had, where the summertime was like free, that ended up it felt
so good,
similar to BattleBots, where you've had like, wait, the grass, I touched grass. I feel like I've smelled the flowers, like I've felt the sun. This is crazy. Because because of that break, I Phenomenon's been sitting in the garage, in the basement, in the garage for like a couple months. I've kind of like a little bit of testing on it, more so because it's just, I have a robot I can destroy stuff with. That's kind of cool. I've not really touched it. But instead I'm like, you know what? I need to like do stuff with other people too. Like even like the insects, like Hive Hysteria was literally me thinking, okay, let me like build a beetle weight back again, because it hasn't really done beetle weight things in a minute. Not since like Robot Ruckus, like November. And like, what is it? Playing flag football, play video games again. I'd not played video games in a minute because of all the work I've done on like the robots getting ready for HRLs and little things like that. And I'm like, and I had saved money. I was like, wait a minute, I have like a savings account. Like, oh my gosh, because of an engineering job, I have like all of this time in engineering anyway, like Matt already said. So I'm already having to use the math and physics part of the brain over and over again. When I come home, like I said it before, like in high school, 100% did that. Like wake up, school, whatever, it's boring, cool thing in the evening, robots, whatever. But then as I'm older, I'm like, I've been doing this like 18 hours straight every day. I probably should like breathe. And so that's already like a little example of that break time changing things already.
Yeah. I think burnout is really important to think about, like not only from the EOS like a perspective and from like the builder perspective, because like you want like longevity, right? You want to like do this for a long time. You want events to go on for a long time. So like, I don't know, I'm all about like, not pushing yourself too hard, and support your local combat robot event. And if you're doing those two things, you're probably doing pretty good.
Yeah, you gotta keep things balanced. Like what is it? Like you're a full human being. Human beings aren't like robots. You can't like do the same thing over and over again, like smash your eyes all the time. You gotta give some rest. Body's gotta recover. Mind's gotta recover. FOMO does hurt though. I will 100%. It's 100%.
FOMO is so much harder than burnout.
FOMO is incredibly hard to deal with.
When
there's like a straight up break, where there's like, okay, there's nothing that's gonna force FOMO on me. Then it kind of lets you realize that. And I think that's what the summer break for HRL did. Other events are still cool though. It did still those, but like a lot less intense.
I think one of the coolest things about like not just combat robotics, but just like competition in general, because I've competed in powerlifting. I ran casually in high school, and then now I do combat robotics. Is like it's consistent effort with no reward for an extended period of time. Like you're working toward an abstract goal. No, without any sort of feedback or reward for a very long time. And how
it's the journey.
And how exciting is that to be able to like teach young people like how to work toward an abstract goal, and like it just forms your brain in such like a solid way. And that's I'm not just saying that about combat robotics. The fact that we do combat robotics is it is what it is. But what an exciting thing for a college student or a young person to be able to work on something and develop that part of their brain where they can invest in a long-term goal.
It's true.
Without any reward. Well,
well,
there is a reward at the end, but it's a very long way out. And the reward is like, oh my gosh. Oh, salivation, dude. Salivation. I can't. I'm sitting around. We've had it all summer off. I'm sitting around with effectively a finished robot right now. I don't know what I'm going to do for the next 46 days. And if I don't get it into October, I'm going to, if the summer break gets extended, I'm going to scream because I'm ready to fight again. I'm so ready to fight again.
100%. Like Matt, you mentioned as well, like other stuff as well, supporting stuff too. So one really good example of how you've been doing stuff that's combat related, or not like directly fighting related per se, is open source. That happened like I think a month ago now, mid July.
It was a few weeks ago. Open source was awesome. It was just like a very fun, chill event. We Nick Dobrikov from Manta brought his 12-foot by 12-foot arena, which was really cool. It was the same one that we used for the Kai Sinat stream. But it was awesome because like that arena is robust. So they ran heavyweights in there, not fighting each other, but just like destroying like furniture and appliances and stuff like that. So that was awesome because like every time someone heard like a heavyweight robot spin up, of course, 100 people run over and the arena is just like totally crowded. Half the people can't even see what's happening. So that was really fun. And like we fought like sportsman class 30 pounders, which was cool. So I just like slapped a saw blade on Little Ash instead of the spinner, and that was a good time. Yeah, and it's funny. Open Sauce, it took place at like the San Mateo Convention Center, which, funny enough, is where Robo Games used to take place. So that was kind of like a fun throwback. Yeah, and it's funny and
full circle.
It really was a full circle moment. It'd be cool if we can get like a legit combat like event to happen at Open Sauce every year, because that would be a pretty sweet like reoccurring California event that I think people would travel to. But
yeah, I'd probably consider that for like a midsummer trip.
Yeah, but it's funny at the Open Sauce venue at the San Mateo Event Center. If you like the venue is like pretty massive. It's this giant hangar. The roof is like 40 feet high or something, and like if you look at the roof in this one particular spot, there's like a hole in the roof. Like it's like a wooden roof, and like you can see this little hole is just blasted through the roof. And what that hole in the roof was from was in 2015. Like I think it was Toro Maximus at Robo Games.
Yo, wait.
Yes. Like yeah. So currently Minotaur, formerly Toro Maximus, fought this like mild steel wedge bot, this like bright pink wedge bot, and it ripped a piece of steel off of it, blasted through the ceiling of the arena, and then through the ceiling of the venue, and that hole was still in the ceiling from 10 years ago. So it was crazy going to that venue, and I think it was Gary Jin like pointed it out. He's like, hey, check it out. He's like, the hole's still there. And it's just like, oh my gosh.
The deep lore.
I know. That was pretty cool lore. Every time like someone would come by, like some BattleBots fan, when he talked about robots, they'd be like, hey, see that hole in the roof? And they were just like, no way.
We did that. No. We desecrated this place, guys.
RioBots did that.
That's true. They did that. They're in Brazil. Don't try it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that was a funny piece of lore. Yeah,
that's really cool lore. Because like I've been seeing what is it? It's like with my feed being an engineer, like maker sort of thing, and YouTube, I get a lot of the Open Sauce creatives all posting about it. That was already pretty cool on one level. But like it's cool to see BattleBots. Really Comet Robotics, I think Terrell did it like 2 years ago, I think. Like a maintained presence in Open Sauce. So when people came around to like the BattleBots area, how was that like for both just like outreach purposes or even just like for you guys seeing all the stuff there?
It's really cool. Like we didn't bring like the full on heavyweight Whiplash. I just wanted to fly out and not drive this time around. So I was like, there's no way I could bring Whiplash. But most of the teams had their heavyweight robots. There were probably like a dozen. You had like, Tombstone, Bite Force, like Valkyrie, and, Scorpios and a bunch of others. And you had like the whole Seems Reasonable crew there with like Blip and Tantrum. And so yeah, there were a lot of very enthusiastic fans, which is really cool. Like the fan base is definitely still there. And just a lot of people asking how to get started, which is like a really cool thing. And like Palm Beach Bots was there, which is like a fantastic resource for like beginners. So I was like, walk 3 booths that way, and there's the guy who can tell you what you need to do to build a robot. So it was really cool. There was definitely a relatively large like a presence of BattleBots fans.
No, that's good. Because I think with all the robot stuff going on, I mean, we kind of know it in the Northeast, like some people get interested over time with NHRL, especially like as it does its media stuff and whatever. But there's always this prevailing feeling of like, oh, BattleBots isn't doing its thing because it's not on television. And there's some media presence, and there's probably, some word of mouth that also goes around too. And NHRL does its thing as well. But it's always kind of tricky sort of gauging like, what is the general public interest or knowledge of the sport? Because most people tend to get an idea about, I remember this thing from the early 2000s, or maybe I remember seeing this on TikTok once and I just didn't like see it ever again. I'm not really sure what it was. But I feel like that gives like an indication of like, there's still people there who want to do stuff. It's just like about garnishing that, I mean, I guess money on one level, but even just like the interest in like honing it towards new builders to do stuff as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, and there's like still some obviously NHRL has been doing a pretty great job with social media, and I think that's I think that's fantastic. They're doing that. It's really funny. I had like a coworker. He knew my brother because my brother interned here a couple years ago. But anyway, like 0-0 they did like a little Instagram reel for Jason and 0-0, and like one of my coworkers, he's like, my friend like sent me this like reel on TikTok or something, and he's like, and it was your brother. I was just like, wait, what? Some random guy sent you this reel, and it was my brother. I was like, no way. So their stuff is making the rounds. When you hear random people, finding these videos, that's a good sign.
Just today, actually, funny enough, I was working in totally unrelated. I was working in the makerspace, and a dude came in and saw Maximizer just sitting on the table because I was working on it, and he's like, "Yeah, do you know Will Bales?" And I'm like, "I know of Will Bales, certainly." I'm like, "How do you know Will Bales?" He's like, "Oh, I used to do Bots IQ back in high school." He's like, I recognized what it was, that it was a combat robot from across, because it's kind of like once you know what they are, like it's pretty easy to identify what something is. So, but he lives in the Cincinnati area now. Hopefully, he comes back to the makerspace. We can build some plants or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. So that's like
he's like, there's weight classes that aren't 240 pounds, 120
See,
pounds. I'm like,
exactly.
Yes. Check out how easy this is, So, I find that once people interact with the sport, it's like, okay, this is pretty cool. You know what I mean? So it's just like get as much of the sport out there as possible. NHRL take-based economy. I gotta clock into the take factory. They just did their deal with Cheddar where they're pushing, and Cheddar is not. It's no CNN, it's not ESPN or anything like that. It's not a high tier network, but it shows that they can maintain a network deal and continue to push their content to more people, and maybe that folds into a larger deal. So it's like, I respect NHRL for doing like new media instead of someone in chat said BattleBots is dead. That's extreme, but yeah, it's never doing. It's one day we'll fight heavyweights again. Realize I've never seen a heavyweight fight. It's kind of like after I've never seen a 250 fight ever. It's kind of after my era, or like before my era. You know what I mean?
Even
I'm like a zoomer. Isn't it because I started in 22, which was after the final season of BattleBots.
Yeah, because that was right when we did filming for that.
Yeah, so I didn't go to BattleBots.
It's crazy.
Isn't that wild? So it's been 3 years now. I've had an entire rise and fall.
Dude, Maximize, you're still in there. You're still in there. You're good.
Dude, it is pretty cool though. There are like some people who are like kind of like staples in the sport now, who have only been around for like 3 years.
Yeah, really cool. Who have never seen a 250 fight ever. Legit.
Exactly, because Matt and I basically grew up in the early 2010s. It's we're doing the local events. There's no BattleBots. The biggest thing is NERC in the East Coast. I guess
Robo games.
Even RFL, Robo games, especially in the West Coast. And we're that's basically it. That's the stuff. I went to Moto, and that was the biggest event for a long, long time. And if you told me between, let's say, 2013 to 2016, there isn't a enormous change in what's going on per se. There's a bit more because BattleBots is now creating more interest. But in terms of people who are competing, it's not very big. 2010 to 2013, the same. There's not a big hiccup there. But in 2022 to 2025, it's giant, enormous increases happening across the board for everybody. It's incredible.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. It's combat robotics lives on.
All right, we're gonna push to a break real quick. It's been half an hour, and then when we come back, we'll figure out what we're doing. More with Matt Vasquez after the break.
Sounds good.
Welcome back after the break. We're here with Matt Vasquez. We're going to be wrapping up the stream here. The little robots around the world. Some final questions for Matt Vasquez. Drop your questions in the chat. We read everything. It's kind of a problem. We probably shouldn't do that. Every comment we read it, and we moderate it too. So
I mean, he's right.
ask appropriate questions.
As appropriate, 100%. So, time now for robots around the world. So first of all, thanks to Jameson Go for dropping this in the HRL Discord, which you can find the Behind the Bots channel in and give questions for our guests as well as just interesting stuff. Again, please keep it wholesome. But in this case, in this past week, the World Humanoid Robot Games, not if you consider robot games, concluded in Beijing, China, with more than 280 teams from universities and companies from 16 countries gathered to compete in markedly human-focused competitions like sprinting, boxing, and soccer, but with robots. Most competitions require operators to help the robots with some events, like in boxing, which are a little less exciting due to them having to, get fall over and get helped again. But optimists see it as a critical step towards a world like real steel, with much more human, similar activities robots can do, having to put any humans in direct line of danger. So, Matt and Jake, what do you think?
I don't know. This humanoid fighting robot thing is it's becoming a thing. They just had that thing in San Francisco last week. That was something. I had plenty of people sending that link to me, going like, "Dude, you see this exists?" I'm just like, "Yep, I've seen this." But
like, wait, robot guy.
I know, robot guy, robots fighting. I don't know. It's like cool. I don't think it's going to be super exciting at this point. I think it's like a novelty at the moment, but I don't know what your guys' opinions are.
I'm not smart enough to work on a robot like that. I really am not. And also, I'd kick its ass. Like a humanoid robot would get its freaking limbs shredded, dude, by a spinner. We would finally answer the question is, what if you touched a robot, a 30-pounder spinner? We'd finally get the answer. And that is your hand becomes handant.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
honestly, at this point, like, not even like Whiplash or Little Ash.
Wait,
like, I think like I could probably take on one of those, the humanoid fighting robots.
The humanoid robots are only $6,000, dude. Wait, what? Okay,
shockingly cheap.
Wait a minute.
That's kind of curious.
What I got going on right now.
Oh no, I can't. If you really hit us with a maximizer number that's closer to a humanoid robot, that's going to be trauma.
Well, there's always like, here's a question that I had for Matt. Sorry, I forgot to ask this. Where do you work out of? Like, where do you all? So, are you garage or?
Oh, like building my robot. Where do I work out of? So for the most part, like back in the day, and for most of the BattleBot seasons, it was just like my parents' garage. Like so we kind of started off like my dad had like a bandsaw on there, a drill press, like some like basic stuff like that. We had like a tiny little Harbor Freight mill that we could like barely fit most of the parts we needed to on it. And then like as the seasons of BattleBots kind of like progressed, like each season we get some sponsor money, and like every season, like you're not only buying parts, you're buying tools to like accomplish the thing you need to accomplish. So we slowly kind of built up the garage, and like eventually we got like a whole ass Bridgeport in there. We got like a lathe in there. So it's like pretty decently equipped, but most of Whiplash was like done in there, and then like a lot of like water jet stuff was sent out. Like a few CNC things were sent out, but not a whole lot. But these days, I pretty much work out of where I work, my workplace. So I'm lucky enough that they let me use all the machines and stuff here. So I got like sweet CNC access, and we got like a water jet, which is cool. Can just go and cut some parts. So I mostly work out of my work right now.
Dude, for 12 pounders up, it's like find the nearest water jet and just like,
oh my god,
find someone who has one.
So true.
Get access to it. It's just like if you want to make that jump from a 3-pounder to a 12-pounder or 30, just like get a water jet as fast as possible, and like just it's so key to like just processing parts awesome. Quick, big parts quick. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. But it's funny, like the last version, like this current version of Little Ash, like every single part on the robot, I like made every single part. I didn't send anything out. Like anything that was CNC'd, I machined. Anything that was water jet, I water jet cut. And like the amount of hours put into doing that part of me is just like, I should just send this stuff out. Because it is a lot of time to do it all yourself. Like, I know, Jake,
Yeah.
you machine a lot of your own stuff.
Well, so my day job, I am a machinist.
Yeah.
So
Okay, hell yeah.
so I'm a machinist for the University of Cincinnati at our makerspace. So the math is I make so much money an hour. If it's less money, for me to make it than it is to get it sent out, then I make it myself. Otherwise,
Exactly.
so it's a very strategic thing where I get things quoted and then I decide how quickly can I run it out on our hospital machines. And so it's a balancing act. So like I have gear components that no way, no shot am I gonna machine those. But like I have aluminum bits and bobs, and it's just like those, we're tossing those out.
Exactly.
And we also have a water jet at the makerspace, so like all of my cleats. If I bought my cleats from Sencut Sen, they'd be like $20 a piece. If I water jet them myself, they're like $2 a piece. So it's
exactly.
Like, and so it's like
there's like some stuff.
Only way this is possible.
Like if like Senka Sen, incredible for life. I've only used Senka Sen one time for robot parts, but like getting like AR stuff made from them, so cheap. It's like just freaking do that. It's cheaper than buying the material. But like if you want to get like a little titanium piece made, it's like $100 for like a 8-inch diameter 1 millimeter titanium thing. I'm like, all right, I'll just buy an eBay or Fingertech tie and cut it for free. But so you gotta pick and choose,
Yeah, and man, that is the biggest limiter. As important as a football practice field is to a football team, is like a shop is to like making a successful combat team, and like the UC team would not have the success that it has. I'm not glazing the place that I work, like that would be dumb. But like it literally would not be possible with like an open and accessible makerspace where they could go in, get trained on the tools, and figure out what they're doing. And so when people ask me like, how do I hop up from a 3-pounder to like those bigger weight classes, it's just like get tool access, like or get money, and it's like pick one of those.
Exactly.
Not 100%.
Or get money. Yeah. You're either rich or you have tool access.
Just have exceeding amounts of money, and like in my case, actually, it was really good because during the pandemic, when we got like the COVID relief money, I spent it on China and got a CNC router, and then that was like the way I was able to make the big bots for a minute, because like my school had I worked in makerspace for my school, but they only had like a 12x12. A little water jet and like a CNC, but people are always using it for actual things like research, so I couldn't use it all the time. But literally, I designed all of the bots since then to use that little CNC router for everything that I've done. Like I could make I could get flat packs of material, machine that on the router, and that's 100% how the robots work. Because if I don't, then I have to pay for it all. Engineering money is nice, but I also have to pay for living, and then even next to that, you got to pay for your time. And sometimes my time is free enough where like it makes more fiscal sense to just do that instead, and that's really critical. And I think about like in this case, the Unitary robots here with the humanoid stuff. Two things. One, they are still way weaker than any robot NHRL could put out per mass. Like even in real steel, those robots are really strong, but for the weight, like I don't know, they weigh like a ton. Let's say for one of the real steel robots, a ton for a tombstone, that would get you an absurd level of power, and that would just take anything out. And then two, you probably couldn't make them rapidly either, because like they're complex, and our fighting robots are more powerful and simpler to like do stuff with. So
my brother had a good idea.
Really
he was
hard
saying,
to scale it.
My brother like has done some like humanoid robot stuff at work, and he's like, the humanoid boxing robots need to open up for battle bots or like NHRL or whatever. Have like a humanoid fight to like hype it up. That'll get some like normies who are like, oh, cool boxing robots to show up. Then after that happens, you do like an actual round of classic combat robots.
You know what I do? So NHRL's got one of those robot dogs. I would wrestle that in the cage. So I'm putting out the call. Austin McCord, let me fight the robot dog in the cage. I will wrestle it by hand, and we'll see who wins. I bet I can do it.
That's what you can do
Austin
before your match
McCord.
too. So like, I could imagine a Jake strolling into the box, wrestling, beating up Spot,
and wrestling
let's
the
say.
robot dog.
Exactly.
I'd
And
do
then
it.
once you dragged its corpse out, you just like fight with Maximizer, and they're kind of like, oh, that's the gap.
I would wrestle that dog in a heartbeat. I don't like it walking around the pits. It needs to be taught a lesson. And I don't condone violence against living things, but I sure as hell do against unliving things. So
That's gonna be the first podcast shirt right there.
yeah, I
That's gonna be good.
sure. All right, well, that's about it for us today. Thank you for joining us on Behind the Bots. This has been Matt Vasquez, one of the chillest people in the sport. It's been great talking to you for the first time, Matt. I'm Jake Hoffman.
Yes.
I'm Brandon Young.
I'm Matt Vasquez.
We'll catch you guys next time. Thanks.
See ya.
That was awesome, guys. Thank you.